what Lindsey Graham is. He'll sit there and act like he's your friend while he stabs you to your face in the chest or in the stomach. He doesn't even stab you in the back. He just talks to you in that fake little voice, and he's such a little sweetie cakey. And so he's fully compromised. And so I'm just saying that we should be looking at people that have been running the operation in Ukraine. They're pissed that Trump's going to end the war, and then giving that intel to other people. And so I mean, I think of the suspects in that theory, I think he would be one of your main suspects if we're playing a game of Clue.
Yeah. Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. So yesterday we talked about this latest would-be assassin of President Donald Trump and all of these peculiarities, right? We've got all of these things that make you go, these strange coincidences, like, oh, Thomas Crooks and also Ryan Routh were in these globalist type commercials. We've got the Azov Battalion commercial that Ryan Routh was in compared to the BlackRock commercial that Thomas Crooks was in. We've got Ryan Routh being radicalized, going to Ukraine, paying people $1,200 a month to go to Ukraine, to volunteer to go to Ukraine. Do we know where that money was coming from? No, because it turns out Ryan Routh was pretty poor. As he reported in court, he has like no assets. He's got a couple pickup trucks. He says, these are my only assets. He doesn't have any money. This isn't his money. It's not coming from him. So who's funding this? And it just seems to be he's making commercials with Azov Battalion directly tied to the CIA. We know this. Here's that little snippet. Everyone's very sad here. And there he is. He shows up like he's from the place, which is very strange, very coincidental. So the more that comes out, just like the last one, the more that comes out, the more this freaking stinks. And, you know, I wish that they would at least maybe act like they cared enough to cover their tracks, but they just don't. They're that arrogant. And I want to welcome to the show Alex Jones, back on the show so fast, of course, host of the Alex Jones Show, founder of InfoWars. And you guys are doing really great stuff over there, Alex. Welcome back. First of all, I have some questions about this ad, this Azov Battalion ad, featuring Ryan, out of nowhere, Ryan Routh is just boom, right there. Now, I know that there had been some rumors that this ad was from BlackRock, but then I heard that that's not actually true. Do you know anything about who's behind that ad?
Well, BlackRock is publicly been saying for 2.5 years they're going to underwrite the war and the reconstruction of Ukraine. So they're basically involved in everything. And we know with Crooks, the shooter there in Pennsylvania back on July 13th, that is the case. But what we do know is that if you go to the website of Ryan Routh on X and other places, the key people he's following, the first person he followed, and a whole bunch of other ones are known CIA operatives. The entire Ukraine operation is run by the CIA, NATO, and MI6. That's not debated. The New York Times reported on that last year. I reported on it even before the official war started. And so he's flying around on $7,000 plane tickets. He's flying around business class and first class. He's recruiting people from the United States and trying to recruit them from Afghanistan into Ukraine. And so I've had a lot of experts come out before this even happened and said they would expect to see U.S. trained foreign legions sent to Ukraine coming back to do some terror attacks or even assassinations. Jack Posobiec has said that. A gentleman named Stranahan is also on my show 2 years ago. Lee Stranahan has predicted that. And so it's like Lee Harvey Oswald in the Bay of Pigs and Operation Mongoose, and they just use Operation Mongoose then against JFK there in Dealey Plaza in 1963 in that fateful November day. But the bigger issue is we've had the New York Times, CBS News, Semaphore, Newsweek, and others do huge glowing puff pieces on Ryan Routh in the last 2 years. He lived over there for at least 8 months. And now we have a new New York Times article we wrote about at Infowars.com with the links and the text there in the story, where they're praising him as a crusader for causes large and small. So they're basically calling him a hero. And I remember when that psycho tried to kill Congressman Scalise, Senator Paul, and others. I remember CNN's Wolf Blitzer saying some are calling him a monster, but really he was a man that cared about important issues. And so here they are trying to get copycats, obviously. Imagine if somebody tried to kill Biden or Kamala, and then, say, InfoWars or The Blaze or somebody wrote a story calling that person a crusader for causes large and small, basically how great he is. So this guy has all the hallmarks, just over the top, even more than what we saw in Butler. As you said, this already stinks to high heaven. This stinks way worse, way quicker. The whole story officially fell apart within minutes of the attack happening. Corporate media from CNN to Newsweek to the New York Times all said, oh, it's just gang related. It wasn't Trump, even though the first initial things that were said by Trump and by the Secret Service was that it was an attack, that they stopped an attack, very serious assassination attempt, even as the FBI admits that happened on Sunday there at Mar-a-Lago, there at the Palm Beach golf course next door to it. So this is the deep state, in my view, 100% trying this. It keeps happening over and over again. We know the Secret Service lied. The deputy has now been made the head. Ronald Rowe is the one directly involved in the stand down, not putting people on the roof, not allowing the police and Secret Service to sync their radios. That's always the default. He then lied to Congress. He's now been caught in a cover-up. The Senate's put out a report on this with Senator Josh Hawley and even Senator Blumenthal and Murray saying it's unprecedented. So you have the stand down happening, the cover up happening, the lying to Congress happening. And so this is just another deep state play through one of their wind up toys. Someone who is definitely working with the American Legion, Foreign Legion there, totally connected to the CIA. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, it did seem like with Thomas Crooks, it was at least they were like, oh, he doesn't have a social media presence. This guy's a loner. Nobody could find him other than that BlackRock commercial randomly. Nobody really could find a footprint that he had. But with this guy, it's much more brazen and in your face. He's writing books about Ukraine. He's, trying to bring Taliban soldiers into Ukraine. I don't know. How did he have that connection, right? So it's like they're...
In his book...
Yeah,
in his 300-page Amazon Kindle book, published a year and a half ago, he says nuclear war is wonderful. It's going to purge the earth. He gives everyone permission to kill Donald Trump. Yeah. He was on the FBI radar. I mean, this guy is a true left-wing lunatic. And notice how they tried to expunge him off Facebook, and they even got it taken down off X, but everybody copied it beforehand. And there he is with a Biden-Harris sticker on his car, yep. a total Trump hater, writing a book that he wants Trump to die. And the media for the first day tried to spin it and claim, oh, he's a Republican. So the big takeaway here is they've tried to kill Trump again. The deep state overwhelmingly it points towards them. And their attempted management of the information has fallen apart. And they're operating through patsies, so they have plausible deniability, like Crooks and Routh.
Yeah. So I want to play a kind of an interesting interview that Lindsey Graham gave on Fox, because I know you have, Alex, an interesting theory here. Watch.
So my day started. I did Fox News Sunday, and right after the show, President Trump called, and he was about to go play golf with Steve Woodcock. And, I couldn't get there. I was supposed to play, but I couldn't get down. And he said, we talked a little bit about politics. And I said, well, just forget about all that. Go enjoy yourself. Have a good round of golf. So later on, not a couple hours later, whenever it was, he called me and he said, hey, I'm surrounded by like 500 cops. They got a guy with an AK-47. He didn't know the real details, but shots were fired. He praised the Secret Service, but they had him taken off the course, and he said there's like 500 cops around. I said, are you okay? And he said, yeah. He said, I was 200 after 5. So he's quite a guy. That's all I can say.
So Lindsey Graham knew that Donald Trump was going to be at the golf course that day. There was, as we talked about, I'm sure you talked about on your show over at InfoWars, Alex, there had to have been a very small handful of people that knew that he would be at the course that day. Lindsey Graham apparently was one of them. And we know that Routh was there for, a number of hours waiting for Donald Trump. He had this easy entry exit. So I guess that begs the question, how did he get that intel?
Look, the reason I said Graham should be investigated is Graham got caught with Rupert Murdoch during the RNC, just totally upset during the speeches and frowning and shaking their heads on a bunch of video angles. He and John McCain were instrumental 11 years ago overthrowing the Ukrainian government, starting the proxy war with Russia. Behind the scenes, he's always worked against Trump. I guess Trump wants to keep his enemies closer. I don't think Trump's stupid. Lindsey Graham is a backstabber. On January 6th, he was a backstabber blaming Trump. I mean, the man is the mini-me of the neocon warmongers. He's the main hawk in Congress that wants nuclear war with Russia. He's over there with the Azov battalions and all of them. And I said Sunday, this happened about 3 o'clock Central. I guess, actually it happened about 2 o'clock Central, so that'd be about 3 o'clock Eastern there on the east coast of Florida. And my show started just an hour later. And I said, I think this is connected to Biden announcing the day before on that Friday that they're going to start showering down Storm Shadow heavy cruise missiles guided by the U.S. and NATO and England, the U.K., onto Russia, which Russia says is an act of war. And it said at the UN Security Council that they will be officially at war with NATO, Europe, and the United States, Western Europe, the North American Treaty Organization, North American NATO system. And so I said, I would imagine this is connected to Ukraine. They got to get Trump out of the way. And then an hour and a half later, it broke that indeed he was this American Foreign Legion person there and recruiting people at a management level, connected in to groups that do work for the CIA. And then, of course, all the people he followed are CIA on his X account. And so I'm just simply saying, even the sheriff has said it, the FBI said it, the Secret Service has said it, they are looking at someone helping Routh. And so I'm just saying, well, that's a wide open field of insiders. I don't think Sean Hannity, that knew Trump was going to play a snap golf game, is doing that. I don't think Sean's that type of guy.
Right.
But Lindsey Graham is. He'll sit there and act like he's your friend while he stabs you to your face in the chest or in the stomach. He doesn't even stab you in the back. He just talks to you in that fake little voice, and he's such a little sweetie cakey. And so he's fully compromised. And so I'm just saying that we should be looking at people that have been running the operation in Ukraine, are pissed that Trump's going to end the war, and then giving that intel to other people. And so, I mean, I think of the suspects in that theory, I think he would be one of your main suspects if we're playing a game of Clue.
Yeah. So, as with the last time that this happened, and Donald Trump actually got shot the last time in the head, this time, luckily he didn't get actually shot, but they didn't waste any time. The left, the mainstream media, I repeat myself, it's one and the same, but they didn't waste any time trying to amp up their rhetoric that has, I would say, caused a substantial amount of all of this violence against conservatives is, of course, because they're listening to the Democrats' rhetoric about, oh my God, Donald Trump's a threat to democracy, and everything that we've heard them say for years now. Well, Hillary Clinton has now reemerged, and she is, of course, doing the same thing that all of these Democrat lawmakers are saying. I could not believe when I heard her on mainstream media yesterday saying this.
I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it. God. They were merciless about what they saw as President Biden's, problems in the debate and calling for him to withdraw. I believe Donald Trump has disqualified himself over and over and over again to be a presidential candidate, let alone a president.
Oh, my gosh, they haven't gone hard enough on Trump. The media just needs to get harder. What an evil bitch. Alex.
Well, I mean, she also said in the same interview, or she was with Rachel Maddow, I mean, as you just saw, she said we need to start arresting people that put out disinfo, and she, the queen of lies, will decide what the disinfo is. So, and I played like 5 clips on my show today of Democrats saying we need to put a bullet in him, new clips, he needs to be shot, saying he needs to be removed, that we need to put Trump supporters in camps once we win. I mean, they're not hiding this anymore. This is all out in the open. This is a desperate, dying, political, corrupt system of the bureaucracy, the permanent deep state that's hijacked America. And Trump is a giant populist beachhead in the Republican Party, and we're very close to taking the Republican Party over. That's why they're in total panic mode.
Yeah. One last thing for you here, Alex, that I want your take on. So Jose Andres is a name that, probably people would go, who? I don't know who you're talking about, unless you're a DC insider. This is the Biden-Harris administration leads President Council on sports, fitness, and nutrition. He's a Michelin-star chef. He's a D.C. Democrat darling. I think Pelosi nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize. And he was on the cover of Time magazine during the height of COVID in April 2020. He's got all of these connections. He's posed in pictures with Zelensky, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Joe Biden. Oh, and look at that little collage. Ryan Routh, also peculiar. Isn't that interesting, Alex, that a prominent member of the Biden-Harris administration with all of these ties into the federal government and into the deep state is posing with Donald Trump's would-be assassin?
I mean, again, the Ian Carroll, I think, has done the best breakdown of this. He's a great online reporter, just showing all the CIA connections. It's dizzying. I mean, he's got connections to the deputy director of the CIA and others. Those battalions are run by the CIA. And then this is the guy that pops up, magically lands, has a gun, gets in the woods. Nobody finds him for 12 hours. Then he's waiting on Trump. The local Secret Service, actually in his detail, did their job, protected Trump. But again, the good news is the government's not criminal at the lower levels, but at the higher levels, it's fully compromised and captured. And so the globalists have to work through these patsies and these mentally ill whack jobs and people they've been grooming and getting ready for this. And I guarantee you they've got dozens more of the Crookses and the Rouths ready to go in and try to kill and try to take out Trump. That's why everybody's got to promote your show, my show, Glenn Beck's show. People have got to promote our X accounts. They've got to share the videos because they only were able to steal Michigan and Pennsylvania and Georgia and places like Arizona. Like 6,000, what was it, 6,000 in Georgia, a little less than 11,000 or so in Michigan. I mean, these are tiny margins, and they had to wait till the polls closed to bring in the ballots and put them in and get it above the top. Trump's going to have a bigger landslide than he had in 2016. He did not have a landslide from the numbers we saw. People believe the Q stuff that he was invincible and all that. It didn't turn out the numbers they should have in 2020. But this is going to be a bigger landslide from the head of polling at Rasmussen and others I've interviewed, and I agree with what they're saying. I've seen it on the grassroots. Most of the liberals I know are now voting Trump. And so they know a landslide's coming. That's why they tried to kill him twice. It's why they're so insanely desperate. It's why we have got everybody, whether you've got an account with 1,000 followers or 10 followers or 3 million followers or 100,000, you've got to take action and realize every person you reach in the info war is so critical, and it's important when they just keep saying no one's eating dogs and cats, no one's eating geese, no one's wrecking cars, insurance hasn't doubled, there's no crime wave in Springfield, Ohio. We have all the videos, we have the police reports, we have the insurance numbers, and we just have to keep saying mainstream media is lying, corporate media is lying, and just on each big subject they deny. Like Kamala, nobody wants your guns. I never said that. 20 Clips ever saying it. Then over the weekend she says, you know what, I'm going to ban all semi-autos, interofficial platform. We have to just keep coming back, just counter them. They're trying to wear us out, but it's actually having the opposite effect. It's really pissing people off. So it's a very exciting time. Some people follow me at Real Alex Jones on X and see all the updates there as we break this down. But the New York Times, and what a crusader for causes large and small, what a great guy he is. This is in a current piece today over Trump's would-be assassin 3 days ago in Florida.
And already getting puff pieces. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. The arrogance just astounds. And I have very low expectations, and it even astounds me. Alex Jones, you are a trailblazer. You are just, I appreciate you so much, all the great work that you're doing, and come back soon.
So are you, and I'd love to have you on my show. You're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So make sure you are following Alex. Make sure that you tune into his show. He really is. He's doing such great work over there. I was listening to their show over there on InfoWars yesterday when they were talking about all of this, and there were over 1 million people watching on X, which I thought was just incredible, phenomenal. So make sure that you check that out. By the way, I told Steven this. He lives with me, so I didn't have to tell him. He could have just seen it. But I was like, Steven, every time they try to kill my president, another Trump sign is going up in the yard. And now we have 2 Trump signs in our yard. And I think that he thought, Steven, did you think that I was joking when I said that?
No, I didn't think you were joking.
Because he knows me so well. I was like, we're doing it every single time they do this to my guy. And then I worried that that we would run out of space in the yard. I pray that that's not the case. By the way, I teased you yesterday. We do have new merch. You can go check it out at saramerch.com. I'm voting for the guy they keep trying to kill. We've got it on a t-shirt. We've got it on a coffee mug. Make sure to go get it. saramerch.com. You can save 10% using the promo code Sara10. Because it's just like, I don't care. I'm voting for the convicted felon. I'm voting for the guy they keep trying to kill. I'm voting for the guy that they claim is a threat to democracy. I'm voting for you call him a racist. Okay, I'm voting for the racist. You want to call him that? I don't care. I'm voting for him because I'm trying to save America. So go check it out, saramerch.com. We've got more to come. First, I want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So those of you who are living in constant pain, you think that that's the way life is. You're like, well, my life sucks now, and I'm always grumpy, and I just always hurt. It doesn't have to be that way. Try Relief Factor. It's an all-natural anti-inflammatory that was developed by doctors who were tired of giving their patients these medications that just made them loopy and crazy. And you might think that I'm on pain medication right now because I'm loopy and crazy, but it turns out that's just me. But I do take Relief Factor also, and I can verify it does not make you loopy, but it does actually work. It's worked for me. It's worked for so many people here at Blaze. And if you want something that's actually going to address the root cause of your pain, go get their 3-week quick start. It's $19.95, and you've got nothing to lose except your pain because they have a guarantee. So go check them out, relieffactor.com. 70% of the people who order that keep ordering more. That's how many people it's working for. You can find it at relieffactor.com. So yesterday, tech entrepreneur and former Libertarian New Hampshire Senate nominee Jeremy Kaufman found the FBI showing up to his house. Now, if you guys are on the platform formerly known as Twitter, you probably saw this because it's gone stupid, crazy viral. Here is that exchange. I don't think the FBI planned on it going the way that it went. Watch.
Hey, how can I help you?
Hey there, hey Jeremy.
Yeah.
How are you?
Who are you?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Can you give your full name, please?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Is that sufficient to identify as the only one O'Donnell affiliated with the FBI?
In New Hampshire, yes.
Could you please state your full name, sir?
Could you please stop recording?
No. It's First Amendment right.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Could you stop recording?
Absolutely not. You can show me your name and identification, or I'm going to go back inside my house.
Okay.
I don't really want to broadcast my.
Oh, this is going out right after you guys walk away.
So that's why
I believe that's
So
filed
you can show me
under
your name or ID, you can walk away.
tough shit.
we just want to talk.
I'm not going to talk to people who claim to be federal agents unless they can show me identification.
Okay. Well, you see our badges?
I need to see. Is your full name on that badge?
No.
I'd like to see something with your full name, or I'm not going to talk to you.
For you not to broadcast it.
This will be going online as soon as you walk away.
Well, all I want to do is talk to you about a post that was made, and if you happen to be the one that made the.
I want to talk to you about you guys coming here. Say you make a salary of, I don't know what, low 100K? You guys making six figures? Factor in 50% expenses, overhead, maybe 100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100 an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law, right? Like you're familiar with it. So then why would you come?
Because we just wanted to make sure that there weren't any.
No, you're coming because you're part of a regime that does this kind of thing when you know laws aren't being broken, and that's an embarrassment, man. Didn't you guys read the Constitution? Do you not believe in America? Like, how do you do your jobs and go home?
We appreciate it.
You're walking away. Because nothing we did is against the law, and you guys are heads that try to act like bullies. And I hope you go home and are embarrassed. You can't even say your name on camera because you know that what you're doing is embarrassing. You know Americans that believe in the Constitution think you're laughable. And you go home and you think about what you did today. Go home and think about it, you cowards. Drive away. Drive away.
Thank you for your time.
You're not welcome. You should be embarrassed. Embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing.
You're not welcome. Wow. And just for the last little kicker there, he gives them the bird. I want to welcome to the show Jeremy Kaufman, of course, the man behind the cell phone camera recording that exchange yesterday. Jeremy, welcome to the show. I want to ask, did the FBI let you know they were going to show up? Did you know in advance that you would be getting a nice little warm visit from the FBI yesterday?
They did not let me know, but I'm part of a right-wing libertarian movement in New Hampshire, and we have a practice of standing up for our rights. It's part of the culture here, so it's something that we're well trained in, and I'm also a father of 4, and so I have practice shaming people, shaming when they're acting like embarrassing children. And this is embarrassing. It's an embarrassment to our country, honestly, that this is happening.
Well, obviously you are someone in, as you point out, an embarrassingly long list of people who have the FBI showing up at their door over some social media post that really doesn't break any laws. However, I would just like to point out, he mentions, well, we're just concerned about a post. It was an online post. And I believe, I don't know, do you know what he was referring to?
I don't. If they're going to come to my door, they need to be able to specify why they're there, and they couldn't.
Agree.
And so I think, I think it's a big mistake to be performing the investigations for them, because that's what they want. They want to create a chilling effect where, I'm supposed to guess what I did wrong, and therefore I'm more timid in the way that, I post online. I just had 6. This literally happened 5 minutes ago. I got an email saying 6 of my posts on X. I've been documenting Haiti for the last couple of days, and I picked up 10 to 20,000 followers documenting Haiti and how messed up that country is. And the EU is blocking all of them. And these are factual claims about Haiti that are well sourced, and you can't even access them. And that's because there is a system that is controlled by the federal government that wants to import millions of refugees and migrants, put them into purple and red states to create a permanent democratic majority. And it's insane. By the way, you might have seen a little bit of dirt on my road. They sent 2,000 of them here, and I can tell you that they not. I'm sure some of them are okay, but they absolutely litter disproportionately compared to the types of people who are living in this community before.
Yeah, and while all of that is true, and I appreciate your work on that. I know you're not going to speculate on why the FBI showed up at your door. I would say it's a little coincidental that your organization over there in New Hampshire, the Libertarian Party, is in a little bit of hot water for a recent post. Yes, what was it? Yesterday, day before yesterday. Anyone who murders Kamala Harris would be an American hero. Come on, Jeremy.
So we deleted that post because it wasn't the way that the organization wants to communicate.
It was not wise to use that type of inflammatory language, right? Can we agree? You can't say stuff like that.
We have a statement up on the LPNHX account about that post and why it was made. But they didn't say that they were here because of that
I agree.
post, nor so far as I know, nor, as a matter of policy, LPNH does not disclose who makes posts. There are a bunch of admins on that account. It's an account that kind of goes wild. To explain it a little bit in a way that might not make sense for people outside of New Hampshire politics, I'm part of this movement called the Free State Movement to concentrate libertarians in New Hampshire. And part of our strategy is that we want to make the state a place where progressives and leftists feel very uncomfortable, right? And so we want progressives and leftists to feel uncomfortable moving here. If they already live here and they go home to Thanksgiving dinner out of state, we want their parents, their family relatives to be saying, you got to get out of there. We believe this is the only way that
you can do that without saying
win.
People should be murdered. And just, right? You can make them uncomfortable without calling for murder.
I'm not here to defend that post. I'm not on your show to defend that post. Okay. Sure. What I'm here to talk about is there is language that's used by elected officials, celebrities, that is just as bad.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And
you're
the
right.
FBI is not going by their houses. Okay,
you're
so we have a system
right.
where the FBI is only going to come by if you violate left-wing kind of principles.
You're right.
They're not going to defend you if you're right-wing. And this is if there's one thing that's sort of the right-wing needs to get out of their head, the right-wing conservative needs to get out of their head. This is not the FBI of 50 years ago. Okay, This is not. We're not where the universities are not what the universities were 50 years ago. Okay, we have a system here that is maintaining the system of left-wing authoritarianism, and it involves everything from federal agencies to the universities to the journalistic outlets. The press isn't covering. This video is 20 million views on X. None of the sort of quote, I don't want to call them the mainstream, the legacy media
Yeah.
is going to talk about this.
So, and I totally agree with you, because I'm like, two things can be true. I don't like the language that tweet had in it. However, you're right. The FBI is not the same FBI that it once was, although I think some would argue it never was the FBI that people thought that it was. But to your point, did the FBI show up at Robert De Niro? We don't have time to play the clip, but Robert De Niro, I'm sure you know, he said that he wanted to punch Trump. Did they show up at his door? Did they show up at Kathy Griffin's door when she held up that fake severed head of Donald Trump? That's pretty violent to me. Did they show up at Madonna's house when she said, let's go ahead and play this clip really quick, when she said that she dreamed of blowing up the White House? Watch.
Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Oh, okay. How about Johnny Depp alluding to, assassinating Donald Trump, talking about John Wilkes Booth? Watch.
It's just a question. I'm not insinuating anything. By the way, this is going to be in the press. It'll be horrible. But I like that you're all a part of it. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Okay. That's a little strange. So, Jeremy, I do appreciate your... It's like a nice little how-to on how to deal with the FBI if they show up at your house, because that was absolutely just brilliant. The very end was just the icing on the cake for me, and I appreciate you putting that out for everyone to see. So thank you.
Thank you. This is something the libertarians can, I think, help the conservatives with, because we're kind of in a different era. And so we need the right, everyone on the right needs to be taking this attitude and recognizing what we're up against.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you. Okay, we've got more to come. First, we want to thank our sponsor this segment, Flying Ace Whiskey. This is my favorite. Yep, he's on his feet. He's on his feet because he knows I'm going to ask him to go get me the whiskey. I need to finish my water so I can drink it, but we'll at least show the bottle. Thank you. I honestly should just keep it down here for when I'm like the mood strikes, but I pretend to be better than that. So Flying Ace Whiskey is making it really easy for you to enjoy your drinking habit and also feel good about it, because what they're doing is, by the way, this is American made. It's right here in the United States. And what they're doing is they're making amazing whiskey. And they're also partnering with Folds of Honor to provide scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled. And so these scholarships are allowing these families, obviously, to begin to they've got to chart their new course after experiencing great sacrifice. Go check them out. There's no reason not to do it. You can support a good cause, and you can also drink whiskey. Go to flyingacespirits.com. Use code America to get free shipping. That is flyingacespirits.com. Promo code America. Welcome to the show. Blaze TV contributor and actor and producer extraordinaire Matthew Marsden back in the flesh to join me. And I'm so glad that you're here today of all days, Matt, because you are, of course, recovering Hollywood actor.
I am.
How's that going? Is it okay?
It's okay. I have.
Are you in the fetal position most nights? Just thinking about all of
not
it?
anymore, because I've got boots. I have cowboy boots.
Yeah.
I have a cowboy hat. And I have a truck.
So
it's a process.
Take that, Hollywood.
It's like a detox.
Yeah. Well, you probably will not be shocked to hear this at all, but apparently, according to an unsealed indictment released today by the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, federal authorities are now charging Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him now. I can't keep up with the times. They're charging him, and he's been arrested with racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution. And we've been hearing this brewing for a very long time. There are many stories that, we hear coming out about Puff Daddy in particular. And it's just, you wonder if this is one of many dominoes, because I want to play what Sean Combs told Kevin Hart about wrestling with a 10-year-old usher. Watch.
Garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and damn, pause, but like, just back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes, you know what I'm saying, before pause was invented, you know what I'm saying, but it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
a 10-year-old.
What the did Puff just say?
Literally.
Nobody's going to acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. Was stupid.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I want to make sure that we have time to play all of these because this one is particularly egregious as well. This is Puff Daddy Sean Combs with 48-hour custody of Justin Bieber at 15 years old. Watch.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's
That's
first
so
album.
weird.
I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
this is not the only weird clip that is Sean Combs and
crazy.
Justin Bieber as well. And Matt, I want to get your thoughts on this, but let's play one more. I want to play rap legend Nore. Is that how you Nore? Nore. I'm not a cool kid. I don't know. Nore.
Nore.
Nore. Okay. Listen to what he said about how you get famous in the music industry.
Different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own. Let's see if you continue this success, young man. Okay. Let's see if it's all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that when you went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the homo shit right there. And then there's to the left. I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice shit going on right there. I'm not sure because I went straight. But I was offered these doors.
It's just you were offered
Matt Marsden, can you confirm?
Very few people watching this will know that I actually had a recording contract with Sony Music. And also, I was very fortunate to have a good career in Hollywood. And I think that I didn't have anything like as explicit, I think that sometimes you get, with certain individuals, you give off a certain vibe that you are not that kind of a person. And I certainly think it harms you. It certainly did me. Mm-hmm. I had opportunities where I got a phone call and it was like, hey, do you want to come and meet this person? And it was clear what they were trying to do. Mm-hmm. And when you are not that kind of a person, when you say no, does it affect your career? Of course it affects your career. It definitely does. And then you can just take it to the natural conclusion when you actually say, hey, I'm a Christian, I'm following my faith, I'm not going to go for this. I put a post out. Literally, I got something come in for me for a television show within the last 3 months, and they were like, "Hey, are you?" Again, this is a way of them filtering you out. Like, they're okay. It's this role. It's a lot of money, but are you okay with being nude and having gay sex in it?
And your answer?
Well, of course. I mean, I'm like, no.
No.
But what they do with that as well is, and the left uses this, number one is a filter, but number two, they'll say, oh, well, he didn't work. He's not working now because you're getting those roles. So they do it in multiple different ways. Like, are you going to go into this? And, if you say no, that's just professional. That's just going the regular way. Sure. Like, are you going to take this role? Sure. That's without like the parties.
Right.
And what are you going to do outside of that?
And can we trust you with what's happening inside the parties?
Exactly. And look, are there things going on in Hollywood? 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely 100%. And they get hushed up all the time. My question is, who did he piss off?
Right. Because they've all, I mean, you saw that first video. Kevin Hart's like, what? The more you dig into it, the more you hear that people around him knew this for years and years and years, watched it happen, turned a blind eye. So why now, to your point?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he was going to blow the whistle on some people and they wanted to take him out. Same thing with Weinstein. The only reason why they took Weinstein, I mean, Harvey Weinstein, everybody knew in Hollywood what was going on there, but a lot of people were complicit. That wasn't something that I ever came across, but I knew people that did. And if you wanted to get an Oscar, you knew that that was the route to the Oscar. Certainly going and being in the vicinity of Harvey Weinstein, because he had a stranglehold on it. So when he became a problem to them,
right,
they just got rid of him.
Right. Right. Well, I think that anyone who was in his orbit who knew that this was going on and turned a blind eye because they were getting somehow, rewarded. There was some sort of thing that they were receiving that they didn't want to give up because they liked the fame or the power or the money or whatever. We should know that. I hope that comes out in court, and they should not be treated as a serious individual. They should be totally outcast at that point.
Yeah, well,
quick word.
Yeah, people have to understand this. These individuals are actually corporations, right? Like these are job creators, and that's what they're seen as. I mean, these are. It's like working for the Blaze, but you know what I mean. It's like you work for a big institution.
You don't have a sex trafficking.
No. But what I'm saying is they're institutions by themselves that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're paying your wages. It's not just an individual, right. And I don't think people really understand that. I mean, they're in fashion, they're in vodka. The tentacles spread out, and unfortunately, there are very few people that are going to stand up and say, "I'm going to do the right thing."
Right. Yeah. In Hollywood. All right. We've got to take a quick break. We'll be back with more. I can't wait to talk to you about this next one. First, we want to thank our friends over at First Liberty. So look, after more than 235 years, the radical left is like, oh, we need saving from the Constitution. And they are, of course, trying to work to end the independence of the Supreme Court. They want to create their own supermajority by packing the court with enough handpicked justices to get the outcomes that they want. Joe Biden has gotten into the act by making reforming the court one of his final priorities before he leaves office. I could not believe that they didn't get asked in the last debate any questions about packing the court. That's a serious deal, guys. If they do that, that could be the actual threat to our country. And of course, First Liberty, they are calling it a Supreme Court coup, because that's what it is. They want to eliminate the court's conservative majority by packing the Supreme Court with their own handpicked justices. And they actually, they could do it if we don't push back and make sure to stop it. So First Liberty needs your help, okay? They want you to sign your name to say no to the Biden plan. Don't Venezuela my United States. Go to supremecoup.com/Sarah. You spell that with a P, supremecoup, COUP.com/Sarah, and add your name. So we here on the show have been sounding the alarm of the invasion of both legal and illegal Haitians. Those are, they're not illegal. They're here on temporary protected status. Okay, but they're still coming in and creating havoc in our cities. And now we talked about Springfield, Ohio, but 1,200 miles away from Springfield, Ohio, the NBA's Miami Heat are now getting involved in the Haitians eating pets story in Springfield. So they posted this on their social media. The Miami Heat staff, like Miami itself, is a diverse and brilliant mix of vibrant cultures, including many members of the Haitian community. The false narrative surrounding them is hurtful and offensive and has sadly made innocent people targets of hateful speech and physical threats. Our Haitian employees, fans, and friends deserve better. And then they have the last line in Haitian Creole that means, together we stand strong. Guys, this wasn't about you. Why are you making it about you? This was not about you. And I want to show one of the best responses, because it totally backfired. There was like a pile-on of all these pro-Trump people like, we just don't want them to come in and destroy our cities and eat our pets. And they said, what, are you going to start serving cat at games with this video? Watch. Oh my God. Oh, look, there's Ranger. So just to be clear, the original video used the song Angel by Sarah McLachlan, which made it like a billion times funnier, but we had to remove it so we don't get sued.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this is just fantastic stuff. But again, it's liberals and the woke. They always end up making it about themselves.
Nobody asked the Miami Heat for their opinion on what was happening in Springfield, Ohio, and they're like,
by the way,
we're going to tell you anyway.
Here's a strange thing. If you are Haitian, or it's like if something was happening in the Hispanic community, or you know, the Brits, you'd call them out and go, that's really bad, and that doesn't represent me. Yep. Like, what is this all about? Us saying no, because we come from Haiti, we are all the same. Right? Just think about that for a moment. It's so stupid.
I know.
Why aren't people saying, no, this is wrong. They shouldn't be doing this. These are the worst people of us, and we deserve better from you. No, there's this, it's kind of like it's always placating, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's always placating.
Well, and I mean, it's also like they've lost the plot, right? Because the point, I mean, I would say the point is if you try to eat my cat, I mean, your life will no longer cease to exist, I would just say. I would imagine you feel the same way about your dog.
Mm-hmm. Don't eat Ranger.
You could never eat Ranger because he's too damn cute.
It's cute.
But the larger point, of course, is that these people are coming in here with their own customs, with their own, well, I would say lack of values, with their third world traditions. I mean, it's not a lie that they practice voodoo in Haiti. It's not a lie that animal sacrifice is a component of practicing voodoo.
But the leader of their of the opposition or the ruling class, his name's Barbecue.
Why is his name Barbecue, Matt?
Because he barbecues people.
It's like do you know why? Because they come from the third freaking world. And that's what we're importing into our country. These people don't want to assimilate. Of course, that's the point. The point isn't that some Haitian who's trying to follow the rules gets hurt feelings because we're talking about Haitians eating cats and dogs. Maybe they should just not do that.
It'd be a funny thing, wouldn't it? Actually, to adhere to the rules of the country. Fancy that.
They don't.
What would?
I'm sorry. I'm talking to someone who has done just that.
I know. I don't go around telling you should eat beans on toast. Do I?
I would never. As much as you even tried to, I just want to be clear. Even if you tried to tell me to eat beans on toast, I would literally never.
I'm going to make it happen. You had Scotch eggs. You had Scotch eggs. Good. Come on.
It was so good.
I'm telling you, Scotch eggs are great.
It was so good.
I'm just saying.
But you wouldn't. Right?
No,
because
of course
the point is like, oh, I want to come for the American dream and the American opportunity and all of that. And you don't get it by coming over here and sticking to your third world shit.
Well, then what you do is you change the country that you're going to into the shithole. Somebody said this, actually. Some guy said this once. I'm just saying, you don't come and bring your shithole ways to this country.
Weird.
I don't know why they do it. I don't know.
We're getting people coming from shithole countries.
Shithole countries.
Show me the lie. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. How do you get your chin like that when you do how do you do it?
I don't know.
So good.
Don't barbecue Ranger. He's a good dog. Probably the best dog. He's a great dog. Some people say he's the greatest dog in the world.
Many people are saying.
Many people say. I don't know why they say it.
It's so good.
I don't know.
Well, Donald Trump, thank you for joining me. Matt Marsden, also, thank you for joining me. Make sure that you subscribe to Matt's YouTube channel. It is Matthew D. Marsden. Go subscribe, okay? We're trying to change culture. We can't do that without your help. We'll see you tomorrow.